Okay, so now I have rolled the quilt, and now we're going to talk a little bit about this cornerstone in here. I want a nice curved cornerstone. What I'm going to do is come from this edge in an inch, and I'm going to echo this stitch up and over. And then what I'm going to do is ditch around the main circle here. And then I'm going to go ahead and go about an inch out, and then I'm going to put a little bit of curvature there to create a cornerstone medallion there, and then I will put a design in here. What? I'm not quite sure yet. Okay. So now, got my ditch ruler. I do have that chalked out approximately an inch away. I have my isocord top and bottom. Come there. Okay, and then go there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to follow this all the way around so that I have that echo. Complete. Alright, get rid of the tails, and we'll head back over and work on our cornerstones. Okay, so now before I do this cornerstone up here, let's talk a little bit about this circle right here, because a few of you have said to that you would like me to go into that with a little more detail, so let me do that. Now, I don't have the curve that will match this exact, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my closest curve, which is my extra large Mista Curve 2, and what I'm going to do is line it up, lock my stitches in this ditch, and as I follow this around, what happens is my hopping foot stays within a 1/4 inch. If I see it start to stray away, because obviously you can see right here where it starts to pull away because the curve is smaller than the actual curve I'm ditching, what I do is I pivot my curve here so that that closes that and it keeps me right in that ditch. Again, that way you're always able to ditch a curve even if you don't have the exact size, because you're not always going to be exact. So, all right, let me go back over here. Let me lock our stitches, and then we will go ahead and we will ditch it. Lock my stitches. Okay. Go back here. And now I'm simply, let me grab my steppity stool so I can look down when I get to that spot up above, because I'm going to be working all the way around the half circle. So again, you can see that it's just very finite movement of staying right in that ditch and pivoting my curve just a hair as I work my way around. And remember, when I have a big curve like this, I do not want my hand way back here, because notice how that makes that end floppy. We don't want it to go up and over that hopping foot, no matter what brand we have, and especially with this new Innova hopping foot, the ruler foot. Follow that around. I'm almost dead on in that ditch. Okay. There we go. Stitch is locked. Now, I'm going to go back and build our cornerstone. Okay, so now for this cornerstone, what I want to do is I want to put a bit of curve in there, and this one has a little bit too much curve. I don't want it to be exactly what this circle is. I want it to be just a little bit different. But again, that's a little bit too much curvature. So I'm going to audition a few different sizes. All right. So we were using the extra large to do our ditch work around there. I'm just going to grab our double XL. It's not bad, because what I want to do is I want to connect here, and again I want to go over, and what I've done here is I've drawn a diagonal line from this point, which is really a 45-degree, to the center of the medallion. So it's a perfect 45. That way I can take the center of whatever ruler I use and line that up right on that line. I'm going to bring it out an inch. So on the ruler it would be 3/4 of an inch because of my 1/4 inch hopping foot. And then that's going to give me a nice corner medallion. So this is a nice option. This is double XL. I'm going to grab my 25-inch curve, and I want to audition that and see how I like that. Do I like that? That's not bad either. I like that choice. Let me check out my 40-inch. See, that doesn't have enough curvature. I don't like the way that it fights with the curve there.
Just a reminder, the diameter of all these is on the website.
Yeah, the diameter of all of the curves we have on the website, at least obviously our curves. So let me double check this. It's between this 25. And that's the one. Yeah, it's the double XL. So I like that one. I like the curvature. I like the way that it's just I like the way that it moves with it. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. Lock my stitches. Line this up. One, two, three. So 3/4 makes an inch. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Follow that ditch, because I want now a little echo there. And I think what I want is a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to line that up. Yes. I'm going to come back. Okay. There we go. I'm going to give it a little double, just 'cause. Okay. So now you can sort of see that texture starting to take place. And now I think what I'm going to do is I have some decisions to make. So one of the decisions would be, what do I want to put in here? What I could do is put radiating line from this point out to the center, out, 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 out. Or I could go with my standby, which would be 2 lotus feathers. I don't hate that. So that's a plan.
Can I draw a couple?
You sure could.
You don't want radiating lines to get a tight compass that it's not the same exact thing, but the lotus would look better.
And so what Rich was saying is he feels that the radiating lines would fight with the radiation of the actual rays here. Now, that being said, if I did my feathers here, what I think I am going to do is this little bit of space into here, I think I might refollow that ditch and use these lines and actually chalk a radiating line all the way around within that space. You like that? Okay, I think that'll work just fine. Yeah, so I am going to go ahead in here and I'm going to add 2 lotus feathers mirroring each other. So to do that, what I'm going to do is grab my straight ruler. I'm going to line that up. And I'm going to line up, go to the point here rather than making 1 lotus. I think I want to do a double lotus. So I've got that right there. Obviously we have the miter. And then we'll do this little guy right here, which I did better than that guy. So let me redo that one. If I weren't so lazy, I would move the machine with the base and that would make it a little easier, but there we go. All right, so now I'm going to follow this ditch over. Okay, and now I'm going to do my lotus heading in and heading in here. So it's going to be a double lotus. I do want my start speed, cruise speed a little bit more fast, so I'm going to put it on 500 rather than 100, which is where I had it. Yeah, no, I think I can do it without the handle down so that you can get a good visual. I'll give it a shot. How's that? All right, so now I'm going to do a teardrop, double bump, curve around, and I think what I'll do is I'll do an open lotus, teardrop, double bump, curve around, double bump, back, vein, double bump, back, vein, double bump, come down, vein, vein, come back to the center. Now again, I will go over, do my open lotus, vein, double bump all the way out, curve back, vein, double bump, up, vein, vein, stop. I'm gonna take my ditch. There's my spot. There we go. Okay, so now again, I'm gonna start here and have my other lotus facing in this way. And yes, I'm gonna pull my handle down a hair bit. Up, back, double bump, curve around. I'll do this side first instead of doing the petal. Or the bud, I should say. Double bump. Come around. Come up. Down. Lock my stitches. Pull up. Pull away. Okay, and later on we'll get some texture in here so that you can see it a little bit better when we do our all over view. Okay, so now we're going to work in here, and my throat space comes down to this outside guy right here. So here is my plan. I'm going to ditch here, I'm going to ditch here, I'm going to ditch here, and once I get that done, then I'm going to go ahead and I am going to ditch all of this center, including through all of the centers. And then I am going to ditch these spikes. And then I am going to go ahead and I'm going to go 1/4 inch out and do an echo outside the purple. And then in this particular one, just because I'm going to just go for positive negative, I am going to, once I finish the whole quilt, then I'll go back and I'll do all of the micro, which we talked about, which would be filler and everything white. And that will be it as we work through this little guy. Okay, so now I am going to go here on the outside. I'm going to come down as far as I can go, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to lock, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to start around and do that whole circle. We'll see if I can get that without rolling. I have the, for all the ditch work, I have the monopoly in the top. I have the isocord in the bobbin. Pull that under the foot. Lock my stitches. And I lock a little extra, of course, with the monopoly. Okay, now I'm going to start on the inside, and I'm just going to work my way around. And as I go around there and as I turn that curve to fit, I'm going to keep my finger and the ruler right near the hopping foot. That way it's not far away so I don't get any bobble and go up over that low shank of the new Innova ruler foot. Okay, and that's as far as I can go, so I'm going to lock those stitches. Okay, I'm going to pull just a little bit of a slack, needle up, slide over, lock my stitches, and then work my way around the inside. And I'm just wanting to take my time. Now I'm having to pull my machine to reach the bottom of that ditch, so now we'll head up so I can relax. My extended base is hitting my bar a little bit, but it's doing it. Okay. Stop, reposition. Okay, now I'm simply going to use my ditch ruler. I'm going to go in that single spoke, stop there, and this is the the closest to a finished 10-inch circle. So I'm going to use my 10-inch circle with my leverage handle. Just kind of move my way in there. And just pivot and twist that circle to stay in that ditch. Get back on my perch here. Okay, now I'm going to start my ditching around the outer access points.